Hello and welcome to the Chino Challenge. It is 2024 and we are here for the 33rd annual Demolition Derby at the Chino Fairgrounds. We are packed in the pits, they are packed in the grandstands, and we've got all sorts of people here ready to go, both on the competition side and the spectator side. We're so excited to bring this to you. I'm Jeffrey Best alongside Tommy Mason. We're Low Budget TV. It's time for another Chino Challenge.
The biggest demolition derby in Southern California. In fact, I would want to claim it as my favorite demolition derby ever. This is the 33rd annual Chino Challenge, and we have three different classes. The open class, 80s wire, basically bone stock, and the female compact. Sold out grandstands and a huge purse for prize money.
You see the open class here, 33 cars are in the pits, but only 18 are going to make it, as well as the other classes that are going to be running here, and we're going to be bringing it all to you here on Low Budget TV.
That snow cone is looking good on this warm July afternoon. It gets warm here in Chino.
It sure does, and it's about to heat up for heat race number 1. We got the 66T of Troy Snow.
Jesus. Joshua Babb. You can't mistake that number because it's not even a number.
It's Jesus. And we got the 108 of Brandon Partita. Keep an eye out for Brandon, as he was one that made a lot of noise in 2023.
Matt Burns returns in the number 73 to Chino Challenge in that complete demolition 73. And the 91, beautiful paint, Aaron Herring.
That looks too nice.
Yeah, that's a show car quality.
How about Marty Kingma here in the 357? Got some M&Ms on the side with the 88B of Brady Baker ready to go.
Fluorescent black, you can't miss it. You can't miss the 122 of Jarrett Bremer in that Blue Fire Grill station wagon. Always got to love the big station wagons. Ryan Doty carrying a Low Budget TV on board. He's back and looking to do a lot better in 2024.
Looking for what we call redemption. Andrew James in the number 77X. He'll be joining us as well for this 2024 Chino Challenge. And there is the number 6. Matt Kingma got the green tank color on there.
You got to have a nice paint for a nice run in 2024. The field is set for heat number 1. Now the top 5 will transfer to the main. All others will go to the last chance qualifier later on this afternoon. And the Mad Cow, not the Mad Dog, but the Mad Cow will be awarded Mad Cow because of the dairy farmers in Chino.
So we are looking for the Mad Cow award. And as you saw, the top 5 from each heat race are going to transfer. That is the number we're going to be focusing on. Now comes the point as these fans are ready to go. The drivers are ready to go. The officials are about to wave us to the green.
We are underway. Who's going to make the first move? All the action there in the center. Now, Jeffrey, I feel like this is the part of the Derby where everyone else in the pits, not in this heat, are watching and learning. And the ones that are on track are deciding right now what's the strategy, to try to survive as much as you can or go for the Mad Cow.
Well, in some ways, this relates to other motorsports. Drivers are probably just looking at track conditions, see what they're going to be dealing with. How much throttle can I put down? Also, you want to start gauging on who's going to be pushing people around.
The dirt roost. Oh, man.
Wow. It looks slick out there.
Troy Snow on the loud pedal, standing on the gas, trying to knock around the 20. We're on board with Andrew James, who returns back to Chino Challenge.
And they're going 3 wide.
They're just going to pile them through.
I told you it's like other motorsports. Now, you want to avoid the moat. We talked about this
the moat,
this year.
The ditch, whatever you want to call it. Just avoid it because that'll eat your car alive.
Yeah, so you don't want to fall into that. The 91, Aaron Herring, is kind of at risk of that right now, and we've already lost a radiator.
Oh, and it spells disaster. Troy Snow is going to take advantage of it. And now we got him stuck on top of the trunk of the Jesus ride. Andrew James stuck on Joshua Babb's trunk.
This is literally letting Jesus take the wheel.
That's right. Well, James might have to unhook there. A lot of action there in the center. Oh, no, Herring's going to get dusted. Right in his face, all the dirt.
Hey, if you can't beat the car, beat the driver.
That's right. Wear him out. Oh, huge hit there. Right as Herring was trying to probably clean his visor. And Doty's got some mud.
Well, this is going to be the ultimate view to tell us this is the our sensor cam. Man, the back end of that Jesus car is getting worse.
Now they're unhooked.
Now, are you like me and seeing that going, that thing's going to be a ramp at some point?
Oh, absolutely. And these drivers try to pack in the back ends so it can cover up the back as much as possible. Look out for that ditch there, Jesus.
So these cars very welded up. There's different types of derbies. We're going to be seeing them later on in regards to derbies that are going to have kind of that bone stock feel. But these cars, you weld them up as much as you can.
We've got the 88D or 88B of Brady Baker in the ditch of the moat. And Andrew James going to try to put the 357 of Kingma.
Oh, wow. Look at the 66. Left rear has fallen off, so Snow is stuck in it right now.
Matt Kingma in the 6 getting pounded around there. And here comes Bab with a hit on the 357 of Marty Kingma. So, of course, the Kingmas draw the same heat. Now they got to try to work together. Herring, he's going to go across the track and shove Marty up into the berm, into the K-rail. Take a look at this one again.
Oh,
so on this replay, kind of keep your eyes on the car with the red headlights. The 91 of Aaron Herring, as he will get an assist to the 357 of Marty Kingma. Sees the opportunity.
But look at the other Kingma coming in here and being like, well, fine, you could go into the moat too.
And they all take advantage. The crowd loving it. Big hits there.
Wow. So that is a big staple move right there. Talk about these drivers trying to clinch that Mad Cow award. And that was showing a lot of strength, but Herring also kind of got himself in trouble.
But Herring might be in the running for the Mad Cow. Andrew James, he's got a ton of fluid from the 77X there. Not what you want in this first heat. Now, of course, you're going to have some time to work on it, as Bab, he's going to sink to the dirt.
It looks like Doty got stuck in the number 20 there. You see the wheel spinning. Now, my concern here, it looks like this one, the fluid,
now we're smoking.
Now we're smoking.
That's not good.
So Andrew James looking like it's maybe shutting down on him.
Crew guys trying to signal to their drivers. In the pit grandstand portion, there's Partita in the 108. Looks like Burns is still running. The 6 of Matt Kingma.
Yeah, Bab in the Jesus machine. You see the two cars all the way in the back, piled up.
So likely going to be headed to the LCQ for those two, but they did it in spectacular style.
And you see the flag. You can't question which one's Brandon Partita.
That's pretty creative, actually. That's pretty dang good. So we are down to 4 or 5, and
now remember the number 20 Ryan Doty last year. They had major mechanical issues. Fluid flying out of the pipes, and it pretty much knocked out their whole team. The entire team didn't even make it to the LCQs because of the damage that they had. And so this is, like we talked about, this is redemption year for that number 20 right there. And just like last year, the car you can't even tell has been in a derby yet. That one you can. Did you see the back end?
It is gone.
It's
Partita's got no packed station wagon.
Now this is a risk that we sometimes hear about the station wagons, is if they fold the wrong direction. You do not want those folding down. Red flag is flying. Checkered is out.
And one more good hit for good measure.
I guess the Jesus car got rolling again.
Matt King was like, hey, the checkered or red was out. But there is your heat results. Mad Cow goes to the 6 of Matt Kingma, with our transfers being Burns in the 73, Matt Kingma, and who's going to the LCQs? Well, we've talked about some of them. Andrew James, Herring, Kingma, Baker, and 88B Snow. And you can see here, heavy damage on some of these, and this is just the first heat. Troy Snow picking up some of his debris. Paktua on that thing. Here from Chino Challenge at the Chino Fairgrounds. We'll be back for heat number 2.
Taking a look at some of the highlights from heat race number 1. I say heat race, right? The motorsports guy coming out of me here. As we are looking at the big hits and big blows that took place during just our first heat. And some of these cars needed extra assistance.
Yeah, some of them going to fly through the air by way of a big old forklift telehandler. Got some mud on the camera. Panama Matt's going to clean that up.
Yeah.
And we go to heat number 2, top 5 transfer. Same story, different heat. There's the 469 of Jared Butch Height. Kevin Denzoin in the 69. Almost looked like the same car last year.
In that 716, Regina Bethley. Talked about other station wagons we saw in the first heat. We'll see how Regina's fares. Zachary Oliver, rookie last year out, even told us don't touch my car with a camera last year. Well, now a veteran and the number 3 of Johnny Rispens.
Johnny's got that yellow and black.
Do it for tail.
Can't mistake him. Gage Flack in the 75 returns back to Chino as he makes his way through the mud. Craig Lozano Jr. in another tank scheme. Good looking ride there, looks tough.
Jacob Foyle, we know the Foyle team, that number 92. This one looks like it's straight out from last year's Derby.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the same exact car, same paint scheme. Stan McDonald, the number 26. You didn't even need a graphic to tell you who's driving it.
That's right, the 5150 Psycho Byron Northcutt here. You can't not see that one coming at you.
Oh yeah, paints them bright every time. That green color. We are green. Heat number 2 underway. Look at this track, a lot more muddy. So they've done a lot of watering to this track since the first heat.
You said it's the mad cow for the farmers.
Well, there's going to be some mad cows out there hitting each other.
So it's kind of a late go to the gas for Regina in the 716. But Bethley's rolling now.
She's a champion.
A champion.
Yeah, 2019 champion. She knows what she's doing.
She's got it. Oh. So these drivers now know what heat race number 1 kind of entailed. And if anything, I think we saw that there are a lot of hurt cars coming out of heat race 1.
And maybe that's a lot of the reason why they added so much water to this track. Try to get these cars to slide around a little bit better. As you see the 3 of Rispens trying to get away. The 12 are not so rookie anymore, putting some hits down.
Yeah. Now, because of how slick the mud is in this one, if you get knocked into the moat, you might not be coming out.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, and across the track goes Psycho Byron and the 5150, and here comes the rest of the pack.
What a mud show we got going on here. This is mud wrestling at its finest.
And this is all positioning yourself for the main event. You don't want to get yourself in trouble, though. On board with Gage Flack. You can easily slide, like you mentioned, right into the moat, into the ditch, or slide yourself into trouble. Or you can come across the track and get the X8 of Derek Shelley. So Gage Flack on the gas here. Oh, we got a wheel that's gone. The X8 of Derek Shelley losing a wheel, likely from the hit from Flack.
Wow. So we saw that earlier, and the red flag is going to come out.
I would pick up some debris wherever that wheel ended up.
Now, this is always the fun part.
Yeah.
How long does it take?
You see the 469, which I almost slid right into the moat.
Yeah, that's
we're missing something.
That's a problem.
Derek Shelley.
Look how muddy that car is.
Yeah.
And this is why. It's not just that the wheel had come off, but the axle is the part that you really worry about. You don't want that coming through the floorboard. There is one driver that we have seen a couple times, a shot of someone kind of stuck there in the corner.
And I think that was supposed to be a green flag, but he waved the red to reset. We're back at it. Regina there at the 716, shoving the 12 of Oliver around. And Psycho Byron, Northcutt there in the 5150.
You see the wheel coming off of the rim there on the 75. And again, not what you want to see early on in the heat is that steam, a sign that your radiator may have been busted.
Something's going on there. Black. Where's he going? He's been on the gas in this heat, and he goes into Regina there. Oh, and puts Regina into the moat.
And to follow up, that was Kevin Denzoin there just to the left of your screen. Hey!
He's still going.
Giving up. Three-legged dog.
Yeah, 3 wheels, whatever it takes. Look at these cars. You said how muddy the X8. Look at the rest of the field.
So reason that with Denzoin being knocked out, last year that 69 finished 4th overall in the whole Derby show, and he's already looking like he's going to be in the LCQ, likely timed out at this point. And that's one of the rules. You can't sit in the arena and just not be hitting things. You've got to continue hitting things or they will time you out. They're very strict on it, and in fact, it was one of the things that helped determine one of our top 3 finishers last year. So you don't want to play with that clock. You see Regina trying so hard to get out of the moat over there in the back.
And at some point, you're going to try too much and maybe wear your stuff out, just trying to get out of the hole. So you got to play that smart a little bit. It's no fun being stuck and out of it from the sidelines, but you don't want to burn your stuff up just trying to get out. Yeah,
Butch Height in the 469, that car looks like it hasn't continued to move. So that might be another one of the cars looking at an LCQ. I can't believe I'm looking for him, but that X8.
There's wrist spins there, just bouncing around. Oh,
there's Flack with the missing right rear.
I saw his hands up like he was signaling some trouble, but he's back to going again. No, his hands are back up. I don't know what that means.
YMCA, perhaps?
Maybe.
He said, don't hit me.
Oh, the 92 of Foil gets close to the moat. He drives out.
Just gets out of there in time.
That's Jacob Foil in the 92.
Saigo Byron just going ahead and pushing the number 3 around. So Rispin's going for a ride. That car's starting to steam up and smoke. Not a lot of people have been knocked out this far into this heat so far.
Yeah, we're moving along, and we still got a lot of players in the game. Byron, Northcutt. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing of his position.
Oh, yeah, you can see Foyle's stuck on top, but he's been released.
And Foyle now into the moat.
Yeah, Derek Shelley's number X8 looks like that car has given up. That's the one missing the wheel. Foil in the moat and getting shoved further into the moat. But this,
and so that's Stan McDonald that shoves him in. Oliver with the assist on Stan to put him in as well.
And suddenly, it's like half of the field just got knocked into the moat.
When you're all grouped together, sometimes that can happen. So that's a 30 of Lozano Jr. in the moat. And the ditch or the moat is turning into a graveyard.
And that might have put us to our final 5 competitors here that would transfer. There's Flack. You see Rispin's trying to give a shove. And we talked about going into this heat with all that extra mud, the moat was probably going to be that much more effective. Last year we saw them just driving out of the moat once things dried up. That was
big head-on hit there. Oliver, he's out there.
And there goes the radiator for sure. No mistake in that one.
Checkered, and we are done with heat number 2. Even though it's muddy, look at some of the damage on these cars.
Yeah, once again, a very rough heat, but that's what you come to expect at the Chino Challenge. Very muddy. These all these drivers are going to have to take a shower after this one. But
some of them already have steam baths.
That's right. And you see the 469 actually rolling away after being stuck there for a while. So some kind of mechanical, maybe battery issue.
And you could argue sometimes it's a little bit better for your car to go stuck into the moat.
Yep.
Because you might have something for later.
Well, there's your mad cow. Zachary Oliver, our rookie from last year, completely lacked the confidence last year. Absolutely nailed it this time. There's your drivers that are going to be going to the LCQ. Some big names in that one as we got more coming. Heat races.
Back to Chino Challenge, the 33rd annual Chino Challenge at the Chino Fairgrounds, and heat number 2, albeit muddy, was still a barn burner with a lot of big hits and a lot of big names going into the LCQ later on. Heat number 3 is rolling out. Scott Hensley, the defending champion, is back.
Watch out for Scott. Got his first victory last year. Derek Partita in the number 43. He made it to the main event last year, and he's going to be looking to get into that top 10.
Jake Chavira in the 31. I love the Hot Wheels looking paint scheme there on that 31 with the flames. And the 35-22 Trevor Hanlon with that fireman's lights on top.
The one of Dickie Vandermeulen. Dickie is he's been busy at these Chino Challenges, 2-time champion, as well as the auction car. As always, it's a tradition, and we'll talk about this car, piloted by Chris Foley.
Gary Flack, the 22. We just saw Gage Flack in the 75. Gary is back here at Chino Challenge. And the 00, Brad Foyle returns, the 2012 champion.
Didn't even bother putting paint on the doors.
Don't even need it.
Just got it. 95S, that is Steve McWilliams. He also made it to the main event last year. Didn't last as long as he wanted to. Randy Mikowski in that number 36. He was the 2022 champion.
Brian Horton, let me try to say that 3 times fast. In the 42, you don't need me to say his name because he's going to put on a show every Derby. Top 5 transfer here from heat number 3. And
maybe the most stacked of the heats,
yeah,
dare we say?
We've got the most champions in this heat. We got a lot of big players in this as the green is out.
And you can see it when they were pulling on. Still very slick conditions, very muddy down, but that should help with the big hits. Well, but it'll also hurt when it comes to the boat.
Ooh!
How did you know that was Flack in the 22?
I had a guess. It was just a notion.
Was the name big enough?
Getting after it here. And
he's just driving through.
Yeah. There's the auction car, Jeffrey. So this car is up for auction to get money raised for a particular charity. And anytime you see this car on track, it's because somebody put up
sandwich.
Somebody put up money to go for a big ride and maybe a sandwich.
Well, the left rear is just holding on to Foley's car, that auction car. Everybody's still rolling here, so no quick knockouts in this heat.
Pay attention to the moat, though. We're getting close on some angles.
A lot of pushing and shoving.
Oh, right there in front of us. Hensley was trying to put the Foley car into the ditch.
Right in the middle there, that red firefighting machine, the 3522. By far went for the wildest ride that we saw last year. That car was knocked onto its side. Would have flipped all the way over if another car wasn't in the way to stop it.
Vera going to be a warm welcome from Brian Horton on board with Brian. Oh, but he's going to fire back on the 95S of McWilliams. Trying to make some hits count.
See, some of the trunks we've seen really fold up, but the 95S shows up pre-folded up.
Yep, and that is a strategy there. Try to make the back end as strong as possible.
There is the 95S of McWilliams, as we were just talking about.
McWilliams flying around this track. Turning this demo derby arena into a super speedway. And you know the drivers are going to take notice on that and figure out, do they get anywhere near him, or do they do their best to let him take himself out?
And one of the risks, again, with the mud is you don't want to get stuck.
Right.
As we saw, it's very easy to hook onto another car, and if it just raises the wheels off, both cars might be kind of sitting ducks and waiting for the next hit to take them.
And you know, as a driver, too,
boat time. Hot Wheels.
Oh, you can see he's completely stuck. No way out. Some of these drivers, it looks like McWilliams is one of them. Some of these drivers see the Mad Dog or the Mad Cow Award, and they say, you know what? I'm not even here to win. I'm here to put on the show. And he is definitely out there putting on a show.
I mean, they might be here to win, too.
Well, the win would be cool. But, yeah, some of these drivers, it just seems like they are out for that big moment.
So that trouble we saw there for the 31 stuck in the moat, and in the worst of ways with the rear wheels stuck in the back. Unless he gets hit within the time slot, that car is going to time out. Foyle taking a shot there in the right rear.
He was trying to push Hanlon across the track, and now Hanlon is completely stuck in the middle of Flack and McWilliams.
Little hand gestures there to some of the competitors.
Oh, we got a replay. What is the replay of? So McWilliams, we're looking here.
Yeah, you see there McWilliams
he
into the door.
apologized
He
for
said,
the door
I'm
hit.
sorry, and he said, I'll hit you back.
That's right. I'll remember that. No, that's pretty genuine sportsmanship, I feel like.
And it's hard in these type of conditions too. Like you're going to do some hits that maybe you didn't want to hit the car in that spot, but you can't stop too.
Yeah, and McWilliams was in a complete four-wheel slide at that moment, so he was aiming for something and missed it, but he paused.
Yeah.
He let the drivers know that was not by design, and we continue on.
A little worried about the auction car. Foley not really moving right now, so that car might be having other issues. Not stuck from the appearance, which almost makes you more nervous.
Yeah.
If that car is not able to drive off, they're going to have some work to do to get it out for the LCQ.
The auction car is prepped by Stan McDonald, so you know it's a good piece. And Chris Foley throwing down some money to go for a big old drive here, Chino Challenge. Always fun to see the auction car out here.
Yep, this 3522 car, again, we've talked about taking a big shot. That's a team. That's a firefighting team right there. This is, as we've said in the past, how they lit off the steam. They like to put a project car together and throw it down into the arena, and then Trevor Hanlon taking it for a ride.
Well, I can imagine these firefighters are so used to going to the danger to fix things up and make things better. Now they can help create the danger.
But they probably don't let Trevor anywhere near the fire truck steering wheel.
No. He's getting pretty good at this demo stuff. Jeffrey McWilliams, I don't think he's ready to get out of this heat. I think he's completely here to destroy everything in his path.
You say that, but now I'm worried because he's not rolling.
Oh!
And he's going to get that revenge shot. We always say if you're going to deliver a big hit, make sure you can get away from them after it.
Wow, so McWilliams, Jeffrey, he has just been flying around this track, aiming for any and everybody. I don't know how he is not going to be the Mad Dog. I mean, he's been the guy that's just been after it in this one.
So keeping an eye. He's rolling it again, so the 95 has motion. I was thinking he was about to get knocked out there, but he delivered quite the shot to Dickie Vandermeulen.
There's the 36 of Mikowski, who we saw a little bit of flame there, some little oil drippage or something on the exhaust.
And Mikowski got a 6th place finish last year. It was a really good showing. As
when he's getting close to the ditch.
He brought a much rustier car this time. And I don't even know if he's in the moat, but it certainly dug into the mud there.
Yeah. This track is still muddy, even though from that heat 2, it's muddy and it's getting a little ruddy from the mud. So
ruddy and muddy.
Ruddy and muddy. All things part of the fun in Demolition Derby. Track will change on you, especially if it goes a little bit longer.
And you know that these competitors are also keeping an eye on the drivers that they know are going to be there at the end, but maybe are having quieter heat races. You know, just a little quieter than the others. Those might be the ones that, you know what, I'm going to make sure I give that guy a shot. Or girl a shot just before the end of this heat.
And there's a little bit of rivalries in years past too, I'm sure. That
a little
bit.
A
little bit, you know. I don't mean to undersell it, but I am. Brad Foyle there.
He's trying to draft with Horton.
Got a 2-for-1 on the back of Horton.
Partita, Flag, just a lot of the staple names that you hear at any Chino Challenge. You see the one has not been moving, trying to refire it. Got the fire coming out of the stacks there, but has not been able to get rolling again, so that car at risk of timing out. So right now we are setting up for a very busy LCQ.
Oh, absolutely. And it looks like, well, we got 6 still going, maybe 7. Yeah, nobody's really pulled the sticks yet out of that 7 that are running.
Taking a look at the 43 of Derek Partita, giving a shot there to the 36, just a little assistance.
Oh, was it red or?
Yes.
We are red, okay. Likely going to go check in on the 36 of Mikowski, see a little bit of spot fire.
I like how they had to smack the door, be like, by the way, this is for you.
Mikowski looks comfy in there.
He says everything's
back
fine.
And
it could be maybe they were just taking a look at, you know, these cars are leaking from a lot of different orifices.
Yes.
So You know, just wanted to make sure that nothing was sparking up there. He said, everything's fine. We're good. So, as mentioned, we still have a couple of cars that we need to knock out before we're there at the end of it. The 198, we talked about him. Sky Hensley, our 2023 champion of the Chino Challenge.
Oh, man, flag coming across.
Hanlon was smart to get out of the way. If I had to kind of pinpoint two guys that I feel like are having fairly quiet heat races that we know are going to be ones to watch, Foyle and Hensley. I think
absolutely. Both. Yep. They are just taking their time, getting through the heat,
and that's part of of making it through. As we see, sometimes you're willing to do those big hits. They don't always pay off. You can get yourself in trouble, but some of these guys can't help themselves, and we love it.
Yeah, I mean, you see an opportunity, you want to make the hit. You might get awarded the Mad Dog or the Mad Cow, or you might be awarded a trip to the LCQ. You don't know, but you're going to still take the opportunity if it's there.
Yeah, let me see the trio there. There's Flag in the 22 with a head-on collision with the 43 of Partita.
So Gary Flack out there using up that 22. Plenty of time. You don't want to use a lot of that time to stress out on repairs, but you do have the time in between all the other classes and the LCQ if needed, or the feature.
Hanlon's car is about 3/4 of the length that it started.
Yeah, this car has been beat up in this heat. And it was probably a lot to do with some of the good runs that he had last year. A lot of people take notice of things like that.
Yeah, it was, I think, a surprise for them that they made it all the way to the main event through their heat last year. Again, like you said, coming into this one, people will take note. And yet, I will say, I feel like that car might look better than it did leaving its heat race last time. But still, not locked into the main event yet.
Yeah, we are still trying to figure out who our top 5 will be. We said that this was probably the most stacked heat, and we definitely have a lot of players. This is definitely the longest heat.
Yeah, and that's, that starts bringing in, are you worried about how hot the motor's getting? Are you worried about, because you're running so long, you're stressing things that the other heat races didn't need to. Maybe they had more attrition early, but, now you're pushing your car to its limit, and it's going to have to run in just a couple of hours in the main. There's Foyle getting ready to take that collision. Partita's been busy in this heat race.
Partita in the 43 has been working around the track, making some hits. There's Horton.
I mean, we're talking about cars that don't look like they've really done that much. We've watched Horton do a lot, but this car looks like they know where to well.
Right, pretty good looking still, considering we are more than 10 minutes into this heat. And look at the other car, the 3522 of Hanlon. That car looks like it's been through a feature.
He's holding on right now. Now, Flack's car seems to be struggling to roll. Let's see if that's temporary. Foyle, again, a champion back in 2012. Looking to make it back into victory lane with that 0-0.
He picked up the win on Low Budget TV's very first year at the Chino Challenge.
We remember it well.
And we hope to never miss one again.
Exactly.
Mikowski there. That back end's starting to go downwards into the dirt, which is maybe not what you want in this type of track. It looks like it'll cause a big issue.
But I think, Tommy, it's right now the clock that we're watching, because the 22 of Flack has not been moving. So now, these drivers are seeing that too. And some of them are probably good at counting.
Yes, absolutely. Positioning yourself. Mikowski stuck in the middle. Here comes Partita. Mikowski.
Some of these, that Hamlin car is begging for them to throw the checkers right now.
Absolutely. Could not happen soon enough, but he's going to put himself in a position for Foyle to hit.
And Foyle taking another hit from Partita. Now, if you're in the heat and someone's hit you about 20 times, are you going to remember that in the main event?
So Brandon had the Let's Go Brandon flag. What does this one say?
It looks like a, I don't know.
All right, I just figured
it
might
like a
have
clown face.
Some Derek reference.
So you see the problem here. We still have 6 cars running.
Yeah, and we are trying to put Hanlon away. Foil coming across and around. That, still good, I believe. I mean, he's
but look what's coming from behind.
Hanlon is in a bad spot.
They are trying to send that car into the moat.
Comes Hensley. There it is. That one did it. Scott Hensley on Trevor Hanlon, putting the 35-22 in the ditch in the moat.
And you know, you look at this from a strategy standpoint, it's probably nothing's worse than being the last car knocked out of your heat.
Yeah.
You put all that time on your equipment, you took more hits than a lot of the other cars. And
the car is likely the most used.
Yeah. This heat's so long that I forgot Nick Williams was in it.
Yeah?
Like, I'm like, oh yeah, he was hitting cars earlier.
Well, there it is. The heat number 3 is done. And we have a lot of hits, a lot of movers in this one. It was a long one, but it was definitely exciting.
The officials going to delegate, and it was Brian Horton, the Mad Cow, with Mikowski, Hensley, Partita, and Foyle being the transfers. Everybody else has to go to the last chance qualifier, and we've got some big names that are going to be going after not very many spots.
Former champions and the likes of the LCQ is going to be a full-on feature.
Absolutely. Well, that was the heat race action here from the 33rd annual Chino Challenge. Heat races are concluded. So much more to come from Chino on Low Budget TV.